Hi Rob, it's lovely to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
And I know you've probably been asked this a lot, but was it easier doing the bedroom scenes because you're slightly closer to Kristen, or was it harder because you were quite protective? You're like shielding her body from the rest of the crew, like, no, don't look!
Kind of, but Kristen's like way more comfortable with her body than also it takes her about 3 seconds to get completely in shape because she only weighs about 12 pounds. So it's kind of like she can go for like a walk and then she's like completely. So like, I mean, I was kind of pretending to do that, but really like trying to get into positions where I could like just tense as much as possible. I'm just trying to cover Kristen. But yeah, I think it was more embarrassing just for me just to be. I know I was much more exposed as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of more embarrassing.
You have this quite intense scene with the werewolves where everyone just starts going at each other. What's that actually like when you're physically filming? What's in front of you?
You have this kind of pillow, and you got to like just like shaking around. Like you just have this head. You're like, ah, get away from me! It's
So like the ultimate pillow fight then?
but you're doing it by yourself. So it's really fun.
It's less cool. I'm going to hand you over to Rebecca now, our competition winner.
Thank you very much. The way Stephanie Meyer writes about Edward is obviously he's this perfect person, and the fans think that you're this perfect person. Have you felt pressure throughout the films portraying Edward, how the fans want him to be and how Stephanie writes, and has that got easier as the films have went on, or has it got more pressurised?
I mean, it's kind of easier and not. I mean, you kind of realise at the beginning, I mean, you get something to play against because everyone's thinking, oh, he's so perfect. So you can go like, well, I'm going to play him as completely imperfect, and then you have something to think about. But then, because he's written as this guy who's always the perfect gentleman and blah, 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 and he never really changed and never gets angry, doesn't, I mean, very rarely, and it kind of limits the arc. So it actually makes it harder as you do like more and more movies. And in this one, because you can't just repeat yourself. And also for essentially a passive character, like it's hard. It's like it's anti-dramatic, really. So in this one, I worked with Bill. I mean, I wanted to add in loads of bits. Like I wanted to have a massive fight with Jacob at the beginning and stuff, like doing all the stuff, just consistently beating up Jacob and going crazy. But yeah, it wasn't really in the book.
No.
But yeah, so it kind of became a little bit harder as it went on.
Yeah. How do you prepare for, obviously, the intense scenes that I'm guessing are going to be in Breaking Dawn from the book, so like the birth of Renesmee and fighting to keep Bella alive? How do you prepare for them, and then equally, how do you come down from them to go in so you can prepare for the next scene?
I guess the birth scene was the first time I've been nervous in the series since like the first one, because it was the way we shot it. We had it was like 6 or 7 minute sequences, like which never happens. I mean, normally it's just like tiny little cuts. So we basically did from the moment where her ward goes into labour, basically, to almost the end of the movie, and it was one continuous shot.
Right.
So it was, and there was no lines or anything. It was kind of like we're jumping around all over the place. But it was actually quite nice because like normally it's quite stilted the way it's shot, and then when you can actually do something where it's continuous for a while, it was quite fun. But to prepare for it, I mean, I guess there's no real way. It was kind of easy as well because there was Kristen's body. She had her head in this kind of contraption, but it was her body was this dummy, which looked like, and she had this like 3 times the size of a normal baby bump stomach, and then these legs that were kind of like matchsticks, and there's blood everywhere, and she's in this kind of rag.
Nice.
And it was sort of, as soon as you walk into the set, it's not particularly difficult to like
go
like, oh, this looks horrible. So that was kind of easy.
Tom Deacon is a Radio 1 DJ, and he asked his listeners for a question for you. And Claire Murray wanted to know, you often get asked to bite people, but which celebrity would you most like to bite you?
I don't really get asked people to bite me. I mean, to bite people anymore. Yeah, that hasn't happened for a while. I don't know why. It kind of stopped.
Gutted.
I know.
Do you want to?
Is that? Yes. But who would I want to bite me? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, someone who really wouldn't want to. Like, I can't think. I don't know. Maybe some like political figure who takes themselves really seriously. I can't think of one.
None of them take themselves too seriously. What are your most vampiric tendencies?
I don't sleep very much. Well, I'd want to. No, I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, I only sleep like 4 hours a night.
Do you... This has got to happen. Do your mates call you Arpats?
No, thank God.
What would you do if they did?
Oh God, I don't even think they even really know what that name is.
Really?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know? Everyone knows you as Arpats.
No, I would love to know who like started doing that.
Probably Heat magazine. They start everything.
It's so annoying. Why do they have to always get abbreviations? It's like great. Like I mean, it's like I have enough trouble taking myself seriously.
So you don't end up calling Kristen Case Stew or anything like that?
No, I mean, yeah. I love how I'm sounding really. No.
Weirdly, I don't. Half the world is in love with Edward, as I kind of figured out at this Twilight convention I went to recently. You know, why do you like this film? Edward! So have you...
No one can explain why.
No, but I was going to ask you, have you pinpointed why? What is it about your character?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of... I mean, I don't think it's really about the character. I think it's about their relationship more than just the character. I think it's... You know, it's just as much about how... Because the books are all written from her perspective, so it's kind of... It's how she sees him, and people kind of... like feed into that. I think, but I mean, I've asked people for years, and like, no one ever really can. I mean, there was on the first one at one of the conventions, like, someone said it's the way he loves her, and then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But most of the time, people are like, you just like, why? Why do you love? Why do you love? And they're like, ah! That's about the only answer you get.
And finally, a little bit random, but it's for Zane Lowe, who does these masterpieces. Do you like Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins?
I mean, kind of, but I've never been that big a Smashing Pumpkins fan. That's terrible, because I mean, like every single person who asks me about it, they're like, "What are you talking about? Everyone's a Smashing Pumpkins fan." And I'm like, but I mean, I like 3 of their songs.
Okay. Which?
I can't remember what any of them are called.
They're that good. Thank you so much, Rob. It's been really, really lovely to meet you.
Nice
Cheers.
You too.